Trent Dilfer with us now, one of the guys I think is the best in the entire country when it comes to breaking down the quarterback position. He's been doing it for decades now, not only playing but also working with a lot of different people as they prepare for high school, college, and pro careers at the quarterback position, among others. All right, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones are out there. Who's the best fit for the 49ers both now and in the years ahead?
Okay, so you asked me probably the hardest question you could ask me, which I appreciate. I actually talked to John for an hour 2 nights ago, and we never even talked about quarterbacks for a couple of reasons. I respect his job, and he doesn't need me asking who they're going to take.
Yeah.
And 2, they have as good a team in place to evaluate the quarterback for their fit and the upside they're looking for as anybody. Now, I will answer the question. If he were to ask me, which he did not, I would say Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is an elite talent. He's not a good athlete, Clay. He's an elite athlete. He is a top 1%er in the NFL as an athlete. He has the joint structure to be durable. He's got the horsepower to play well when he's banged up in late in games and late in the season. He's got the quarterback IQ, the acumen at a young age to handle a lot of offense. He's got the maturity to handle the bigness of the position. He's got an extreme work ethic. I'm so glad the lazy reporting that was brought out about him having poor work ethic was debunked by Ryan Day as coach, and those of us that have been around Justin for a long time know how hard he works. I think he's an elite prospect. I don't have a flaw in his game. I still do these evaluations as if I was at ESPN and working the draft, and I gave him as high a grade as I gave Trevor. I gave him the same grade. I gave him as high as grade as anybody I've given the last, I think, since Andrew Luck. So I think he's a generational talent, and I don't know how you pass him up. But if they take Mac Jones, if they take Trey Lance, I can completely understand the why. They're both really good prospects, really good players. They just may be looking to grow their offense a different direction and feel like Mac has something in it that Justin doesn't, or that Trey doesn't, or Trey has something that Mac and Justin doesn't. I think it's ice cream. I'm going to give you my final way of answering this. We all like ice cream, unless you're lactose intolerant. But we all like the same. We all don't like the same flavors, buddy. I mean, you might be a Rocky Road guy. I'm a mint chip guy. The next guy might be whatever, a cookie dough guy. This ice cream's awesome. It's just what flavor of ice cream do you like the best? And that's these 5 quarterbacks. They're all awesome. It's just what flavor is your flavor.
I'll tell you what you're doing right now. It's starting to get a little bit warm, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I wish I had an ice cream right now. So there's probably some people out there that are getting driven towards ice cream. As a group, these 5 guys, we don't see 5 quarterbacks go in the top 10 almost ever. There's some possibility Kyle Trask, Kellen Mond, somebody could even end up at the back end of the first round, and we could have the most quarterbacks drafted since 1983. How good do you think these 5 are? And would, like, let's say whoever the 49ers take, do you think there's enough interest out there in the marketplace that trading up to get the other 2 guys is a viable option inside of the top 10?
I do, and if you look at it from a grade standpoint, you're looking at 5 guys that probably have as high a grade as any 5 have had in a long time. I still would play the odds, though. As much as I love these guys, 1 or 2 of them are going to go the wrong place, and they're not going to be handled correctly, and that's gonna hijack their career for a certain amount of time. Doesn't mean they can't rebound from it. But it's very unlikely that you have 5 franchise quarterbacks that stay with their franchise for the majority of their career. I would never say forever because we've seen it with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Almost nobody stays one place their whole career. But I don't see more than 3 of them playing in one spot more than 5 to 8 years because they'll be handled incorrectly. It's just the nature of the NFL. You should have the very best people in the world at what they're doing. And unfortunately, you only have 10 to 12 franchises that it's the best people in the world doing what they're doing. So it's guaranteed that a Trey Lance, if he doesn't go to a place that understands who Trey Lance is and that he needs time developing and that he hasn't had enough time being the quarterback and they throw him out there too soon and they don't support him, that his career doesn't become everything it should be. I'm still scared of that with Joe Burrow in Cincinnati for the conversation we had earlier. This thing is not just about yards. It's not just about flash and sizzle. It's about sustainability. It's about consistency. It's about winning games. And there's only so many franchises that know that formula. And unfortunately, my belief is only 3 of them are going to go to a franchise that really gets it.
How many times, this is Trent Dilfer, last question for you. I want to go back to your high school coaching career. You almost won a state championship already. How many times have you watched the state championship game since that game?
I think I'm on 11 now.
11 times.
Yeah, it was hard. It was really hard. I left Nashville after we have a home out in Lake Tahoe. We went there. I built big fires every morning about 9 in the morning in my big fireplace, and I sat there. I didn't get out of my pajamas and slippers till about 6 p.m. each day, and I broke down every position, every play, every coach, every call, charted it all, charted our season, found efficiencies, deficiencies, built my plan for next year, then went back and rewatched the game to make sure I did it again. I've been watching it with my staff. Yeah, I think I'm on 11 times now.
How many things do you think you did wrong yourself personally as the head coach?
I made 2 of the worst calls that I've made in my coaching career. One on a big third down early in the game that would have sustained the drive and kept their powerful run game off the field and probably would have helped us finish a drive. My quarterback saved me on another bad call in the second quarter. And then the play we lose the game on, my quarterback throws an interception, but I blame myself because I knew they were in a coverage that we hadn't prepared him for. And I called a play. It wasn't a coverage. It was a nuance that they were doing. And I called a play to start the drive. We had got the ball back down 8 to tie the game and, or down 7, sorry. And we were going to, on a short field, we had a great kickoff return. We were going to go down there, and I had a horrible drive starter. So I made 3 big mistakes that I hopefully will never make again, and I put a lot of blame on that game on myself.
I love talking with you every time because what I love is figure out what you can get better at, work at it no matter what you do for a living, and that's what you do, my man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on.